shit. Dave Chappelle, great example. Dave Chappelle, okay, there's two different ways to criticize Dave Chappelle. And the one that I criticize Dave Chappelle on is oftentimes lost in the sauce because everybody makes it political. I criticize Dave Chappelle not on the virtue of his commentary. I criticize him on how he's not funny anymore because he's fallen victim to that same bullshit that Bill Maher's talking about here, which is like, oh, cancel culture is so bad. So then all your material is about how fucking cancel culture sucks. And it's like you've heard it a million times over. And then it extends into like trans people being fucking weird and gross or whatever. And then it's not even a joke anymore at that point. You're just doing a TED Talk. That's the wackest shit. Okay? Like, a good comic fucking destroys hecklers. Okay? Does crowd work. Knows how to be quick on their fucking feet. A shitty comic gets offended by the hecklers and cries about it all fucking day. And that's not good comedy. And for the record, I've seen significantly more Dave Chappelle comedy shows than you have, I promise you, because I do live in Los Angeles and I do have the opportunity to go and listen to him when he's like testing out his materials at the fucking at the Belly Room. You know what I mean? It's like I know how he's crafting his material, and his shit and even his new shit kind of sucks. I want him to be good. Every single comedian, and I love comedy. You guys know this. Every single fucking comedian that has gone down the social justice warriors and fucking woke culture is so bad. Oh my God, am I right? Every single one that has gone down that pipeline has been absolute dog shit, dude. It's hacky. You're on autopilot. You already have a built-in audience for it. You're just fucking catering your message to them. You're not looking for ha-has. You're looking for this. That's what you're looking for. It's the worst thing. It's a comedy killer. You don't want a fucking agreeing crowd, man. You want a crowd to laugh. You want them to laugh. That's why comedy can be something like, a systemic analysis that George Carlin will bring, or just a fart. You know what I mean? Farting on a fucking dog. Okay? It's just what gets you going, what makes you laugh. Okay? It's so stupid to say it like that, but it quite literally is that. Confirmation bias. Yeah, that's it. You're looking for people who are going to say, "Oh man, you're so funny, you're great." It's so sad. It's weird to see so many people who would have said like, "Oh man, the left is looking for echo chambers. They're all SJWs," are quite literally the SJWs now. Like, it's just, but because they're on the right or they're advocating for the right-wing side of politics, no one sees it as that. No one recognizes it as such. So it's, I guess, different. But it's not. I don't want to be fucking preached at about how, like, first of all, I don't want to be preached at about fucking, the LGBTQ rights either when I'm going to a comedy show. So let me just make that clear as well. Unless it's fucking funny. Do you understand? That's why I always say Nanette. That's why I always talk about Nanette as like the, liberal Dave Chappelle. That shit wasn't funny at all. So why the fuck would I listen to the opposite side of that? The other weird thing with Dave is that he said he stopped talking about trans people and then just kept talking about trans people. It's become an obsession for him because he took the fucking transphobia mental illness. He can't stop it now. Coming to Hannah Gadsby like that. I mean, yeah, Hannah Gadsby, I'm sorry. Maybe she has some great fucking bids, but like Nanette wasn't great. And it got so much praise from liberals. Hannah Gadsby is open about the fact that she wasn't trying to be funny. I know, which is why I don't think it's brilliant at all, because it wasn't funny. That's my point. No, that's my point. Exactly. Oh my God. But Hannah wasn't being hateful. Oh my God, you're misunderstanding my point. That's great for a TED Talk. That's not a fucking comedy special. Jesus fucking Christ. I don't care. I might even agree with damn near entirety of her worldview, but it doesn't matter if you're like going on stage and selling it as a comedy special, and then everyone in liberal media is like, oh my God, this was such brilliant, insightful commentary. And it's such a good fucking comedy special when it's literally anti-jokes. Like, it's a TED Talk. It's not a comedy show. It's a TED Talk. Comedy can feature social commentary, often does. Some of the best comics are also social critics. They punch up, not down. That's one thing, okay? But some of the best comedians engage in social commentary. Bill Burr is incredible at it, in my opinion, okay? Maybe not funny, but not as the same as Dave. Okay, you are stuck. You're perma-stuck. You're stuck. You're stuck on this. We are not working on the metrics of hatefulness, okay? I'm working on an entirely different metric here. But you're stuck on like, well, one was hateful and the other wasn't. I know that. It doesn't matter to me. It's a fucking TED Talk. One is a TED Talk about liberalism. The other one is a TED Talk promoting right-wing hateful ideology. But neither were funny. That's my point. Neither are funny. And it's actually crazy to me that like Dave Chappelle's doing this. Like, look, Hannah Gadsby, I don't know her background. I'm not entirely familiar with her commentary or comedy leading up to Nanette, so I can't speak on it. But Dave Chappelle is an important comedian for me personally. You know, he was a formative comic in my development, in my upbringing. I thought that he was fucking hilarious, right? So seeing him go from being, you know, one of the best in the game and then like quitting when he was at the top to then turn around and do this shit is even more mind-boggling. Does that make sense? Like, that's what makes it, that almost makes it more sad in my opinion, because I can't speak on Hannah Gadsby because I don't really know what her former material was like. And it's not even just that. There are so many comedians like that now that, like, I'm embarrassed to admit I watched all their shit back in the day. Even fucking, like, maybe not his stand-up specials, but his TV shows were awesome. Fucking Ricky Gervais. Obviously, he got carried a lot by Merchant too, but still, like, his Gervais had a tremendous impact in you know, an entire genre of like mockumentary style funny ass TV shows. Straight up. His I would say his stand-up was never like all that great. I don't think his stand-up was ever all that great. Let's be real. Because he was always like a bit of a, you know, an atheism, like, oh, they're attacking me for being atheist type dude. But like, it doesn't matter. So basically my point is, these guys that were like doing a great fucking job in a field that is so difficult to be good in consistently, especially one of the worst. Because like when you're playing a fucking song, you test it out in the lab, okay? You go to the studio, you make the song the best it possibly could be. There's like almost science related to like how it will have mass appeal and shit like that. Comedy you can't do unless you're in front of an audience. You can't test out jokes in a fucking vacuum. You literally have to go out and bomb and bomb and bomb over and over and over again until you have like a solid fucking set, right? So in that way, it makes it probably one of the more difficult forms of art. And I don't know, it's just sad to see someone who like perfected their craft like that turn around and suck dicks. Do you like Shane Gillis? I think Shane Gillis is very funny. I don't even think he likes me all that much. But yeah, I don't give a fuck. I think he's funny. You also have to remember that not every one of their bits are gonna fucking land. But his Fox News dad one is great. You know what I mean? So do you like Nick Mullen? I think Nick Mullen has fucking hilarious bits, 100%. I mean, there are literally jokes that we make in here that are just straight up Nick Mullen bits, like cops. Who are you gonna fucking call after you get robbed, silly liberal, when they're gonna come over and fucking, you know, put their hands by their side and go, oh, I guess there's nothing we can do about this. Like, I butchered it because I'm not a comedian. I'm not good. But there's plenty of fucking great bits in Nick Mullen's commentary and comedy as well. Nick's Nanette bit is insane. I haven't heard his take on Nanette, but I've talked about Nanette a lot as far as like why I don't like it, and in serious terms as well, like engaging in analysis on Nanette. Woke Mobsters like was a straight rip off of Cumtown. Like they them non-binary mobsters and shit. Like that was before SNL did it. Cumtown did it like years before then. Anyway. You like Sebastian Maniscalco? I see Sebastian Maniscalco as like a hamburger. You know what I mean? Like some comedians are, or a pizza, a slice of pizza, and that's not an Italian joke. You know what I mean? It's like, even if it's mid, it's like it still gets the job done in many ways. You know what I mean? It's not like, it's not for me, but I totally understand why he has mass appeal. Does that make sense? Like Sebastian Maniscalco, many of you probably have not fucking heard of this dude. He is your mother and he's your mom and dad's favorite comic. That's his shit. You know what I mean? And he's like pizza in the sense that, you know, even the worst kind of pizza, the shittiest tier pizza is like still pretty edible. You know what I mean?